Okay, today we're going to talk about something that I really want you to look at as you write your second drafts, and that is showing the action, thoughts, and feelings instead of telling. We kind of introduced this idea yesterday a little bit, but we're going to talk maybe 10 minutes, hopefully less than 10 minutes today, about showing instead of telling. When you're telling someone about something, I think we all do it a lot in our writing. In fact, in a first draft, I think we do it a ton. You say stuff like, I walked into the room and it was cold and I was tired, so I fell asleep, right? And that's just telling people what happened. It's saying, hey, this is what happened, and that's pretty exciting, right? But what we want to move our writing towards is, instead of telling people what happened, we want to show them what happened. Why do we want to do that? It's a good shrug. Any guesses? Why would we want to show them instead of just tell them?
It makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it makes it more interesting to read. It doesn't actually change the story any, right? It's still the same story, regardless if you say, I walked into the room and it was cold. Or if you say, I walked into the room and pulled my jacket tightly around me to ward off the shivers that began to appear. That was totally lame, but it's going to really catch the interest of your audience. More than just telling them, showing them, it gives us the chance to visualize your story, to actually see what's going on instead of just hearing it. And seeing what's going on is a big, important part to us. Why is that important? Because we read a lot of books. Yeah, we're becoming more and more visual learners, right? Because we watch a lot of TV, and we play a lot of video games, and what else is visual? We see a lot of movies, right? That's how we spend our free time being entertained. So we've kind of developed our minds to function that way, that in order to be entertained and in order to understand, in fact, we want to see what's going on. So if we're just reading words, how are we going to see what's going on? Well, yeah. We're going to describe it, explain it, we're going to show it. We're going to paint the picture for our reader. Not only so they'll be more entertained, which is important. It's important that your audience be entertained, but also so that they can understand. So this might sound difficult, but it's actually really easy, because there's some indicators of showing. Remember when I said that I walked into the room and it was cold. I was tired, so I sat down at my desk. The teacher is boring. I've been here all day. I am tired. Now, these are the words that will appear every time that you're saying something. And they're called be verbs. I don't really know why they're called be verbs, other than be happens to be one of them. And they indicate a state of being, like, I am excited. Yeah, a state of being, right? But they don't ever show any action. There's nothing actually happening in sentences with these words in them. So what we want to do, after you finish your first draft and you're going through your second draft, you want to go through and you want to circle every single one of these. That's your assignment after you finish your first draft. Go through and circle every one of these. And we're going to change some of them. I'm not going to say change all of them, because it's important that you have some sentences like this. You don't need to show every single thing. You need to say some stuff. But we want to get rid of most of them. And probably about 2/3 of your be verbs you want to get rid of. About 2/3 of your verbs should be action verbs, or active verbs, and maybe 1/3 can be be verbs. So active verbs. Can anyone just tell me what those are?
Running. Running
is a good example, yeah. Like, what would be a definition of an active verb? Yeah, character's doing something, something's happening, right? There's action. They're active. Yeah. So what I want you to do real quick, let's have 2 people from each table come up, so that should be 10 people. Just come up really fast, grab any color marker, and write one active verb on here. One action verb. Go fast. See how quick we can do it. We're wasting video time here. Alright, good. Active verbs are pretty easy, right? Anyone not understand active verbs?
Nope.
Bailey Bunker?
What?
Active verbs, do you understand?
Yes.
It's pretty easy, right? Just verbs that show action. Anything pretty much that's not a be verb, that's not on this list, is probably an active verb, right? In our writing, we want it to be as active as possible. We want to use as many active verbs as we can to really show what our characters are doing, to add interest to our story, to have things happening in our story. Okay, we're going to do one quick exercise, and then I have an assignment for you. Okay, I'm going to write one word up here. We write walked. As in, I walked into the room. Right, as a table, talk for just a minute and come up with two words that you can use in that sentence other than walked. That mean the same thing. I said, I walked into the room. I want you to come up with two different verbs that you can substitute for walked. Now here's the challenge. After you decide as a table, you need to send two people up again to write it on our board here. Probably two different people than went up the first time. But we can't have any repetition here. So there should be 10 different words on our board that can all be substituted for walked by the time we're done. All right, take 2 minutes to come up with a couple words.